Surprise, surprise, surprise. I thought since tomorrow, well, today, is the last day before Truss will sweep into office, I thought, why not? Why not have a special stream? Because obviously it's Boris's official last day in Downing Street tomorrow. And like I say, I think I told you all yesterday, sort of the timeline that's going to happen this week. Some very, very definitely key events coming up this week. So I think it's worth just briefly starting off and reminding you what's going to happen this week. Pretty Bird, greetings. Good morning to you. So remember, Monday at 12:30, we are getting the results, and I've said it before throughout all this contest. Yeah, this isn't going to be close. Guthonic, are you late? No, we've only just started, so welcome. Like I say, we've got this week, so results at 12:30. Oh, Lars, good morning to you. Gwyneth, good morning to you. SDY, good morning to you. Morning, finally managed to get out of the bed for a live stream. Well, welcome. Welcome. So, results at 12:30 tomorrow. It's not going to be close. I've been saying that for a while. I think it's going to be maybe 60+% maybe for Truss. And maybe Rishi Sunak, maybe even in the 30s. Maybe even less than that. That's sort of what I'm predicting. It will not surprise me. Then later in the day, we'll have Boris's official resignation speech. Because that will be the day he officially stands down. And he will get a chance to have another speech. So we'll probably get to cover that. Although I think it might be different, maybe. I can't remember now exactly. But on Tuesday, Truss will officially take over. As Monday is when the handover happens. Then it will be Truss's first sort of official day. Boris will get to make another outgoing speech. Mainly sort of welcoming Truss in. And then Truss will get to make her maiden speech. So we will certainly have to cover that on Tuesday when that happens. As I've said, we might go live to cover the speech when that happens, so watch out for that. And then, of course, on Wednesday, Truss gets her first, shall we say, crack at the whip in PMQs, and I do not think it's going to go well. I do not think it is going to go well. Because she's not the type of person to do well in that type of environment. At PMQs, you've got to be sort of really standing on your feet. You've got to have your knowledge to hand and got to be able to sort of, be quick-witted with some certainly good retorts. And that is not, her speciality. It is not her speciality in the least. So that will be fun. And then, of course, we will finally get to find out who goes in her cabinet. And, that in itself will be a very fun story. Oh, Mark C, good morning to you. Yeah, Pretty Bird, Truss will fall flat on her face at PMQs. Yep, she will. Anyone see the election next year for suggestions? Hola for David. I don't think there's going to be an election. There's going to be a couple of conditions for an election to happen. I think it will mostly be depending on how fast or how much the Conservative Party falls to pieces. If they fall to pieces to a point where they think that maybe it's worth just going it for a general election, then yeah. They absolutely will. Nope. Morning. Nope. You love the fact that Liz has refused to leave Balmoral. I imagine her face off with one of these Tory prime ministers. Just is enough is enough. Yeah. Well, that's it. It's a massive break with obviously tradition, because obviously normally she would meet them at Buckingham Palace, but that's not the case. Certainly with this one, I think that it has certainly a lot to do with her age. And the fact that, Buckingham Palace is actually quite falling to pieces, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest. It is quite a, historical building that does sort of need to be preserved in a way. But yeah, unless the Conservative Party falls into sort of complete disarray, where the only way they see out of it is a general election. And there is already talk, back at the start of this year, back in April, as to whether maybe we should lose the next general election, Maybe it's not a good idea, given the crises that are coming up. Maybe we should, get out while the getting's good. So there could be very well that feeling within the party that maybe it's worth it. And maybe that lever does get pulled. But Liz Truss has a lot of stuff that could trip her up very quickly. You've got the cost of living crisis, you've got the energy crisis. I've said that all comes together to head in November. She's already said, I think in a Sunday Telegraph article today, she intends to have, a plan out and published within her first week of being being Prime Minister. Shall we go this way? I think we shall, just to make sure. I am just looking ahead at the spread of cows. The fact that you've got people with dogs clearing on the other side. And I just don't want to get caught in a stampede, just in case. There we go. So it will come down to a couple of things. Like I say, you've got those cost of living crisis. You've got the energy crisis. That is certainly going to be the biggest play. I mean, you've got a lot of small and medium businesses that are crying out for help, and so far no help is being offered. And she's saying that she's going to deliver support, but what support is she going to give? You've got to remember, Liz Truss has said categorically for the past month, I am not going to do any handouts. So, okay, what exactly are you going to do to help these people? And, in these small businesses? What do you do? You can't just, cut taxes and expect that to work, because that will initiate, more borrowing. We've walked through this so many times before. If you cut taxes, that means you're saying the government is either not going to do something anymore, provide as much as money or support to an area as it used to before, which Liz Truss should be forced to explain which areas she's not going to support anymore, or you've got to borrow more to make sure that you still fund those areas. And given a time, of course, rising rampant inflation in this country, I still think we've got one of the highest rates of inflation in all of the G7. And even more worryingly, because I think there was something said very recently, that the fact that you've got inflation in other countries has been brought under control, and certainly looks like inflation in those countries might be dropping, but we could have the exact reverse happen here in the UK. Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all, because Liz Truss will have to, do something about that. What's her answer to that? Well, it's more tax cuts. Oh. Michael Mayo, good morning, one and all. From Hammerland, Jutland, Denmark, good morning to you. So, that's just 3 crises that she's got to deal with. We aren't even finished yet, because the big one will be the Northern Ireland one. And this will be the one where she will come undone. Because if you really want to solve the Northern Ireland Protocol, when now you've got more and more people in Northern Ireland seeing the benefits. Oh, Spicy Cat, good morning from the Netherlands, good morning to you. If you've got a situation where you've got a problem, which clearly the Northern Ireland situation is, big problem. And the only way to solve this problem is to sit down and negotiate. This is what we British are meant to do. Sit down and, negotiate, talk to people. That's what we're meant to be diplomatically known for. And that is how you solve the Northern Ireland problem. You sit down, you negotiate it, and you talk. And that is not what Liz Truss wants to do. She wants to take a massive grenade, potentially, as we've heard already, triggering Article 16. We're going to see a game of ping pong, certainly with the Lords. Already battered the Northern Ireland bill back to the Commons in a game of, Commons ping pong. So we'll have to see, and basically watch Parliament strip out all the provisions that the Lord's put in. There's certainly a very big potential of possibly parliamentary rebellions, because I think this point is where the moderates are going to stand up and just go, what you're doing here is far beyond the pale. It's going to wreck our international diplomacy, wreck our international image on the world stage, and you're going to do irreparable damage to our economy. I think the moderate Tories will stand up and say, no, you can't do this. I think we might see a very significant rebellion possibly on that one. And you are right, Patrick, there are very few Tory moderates left because, well, Boris purged them all. But I also think you will see maybe some come to see the light on that. I mean, I hope so. Good morning, Mithril. Good morning. I mean, I'd hope you'd maybe have some come through and maybe see the light on what they're about to do and think, maybe this isn't really such a good idea. But of course, any attempt to negotiate or talk through with the EU will be seen as a sign of weakness by the ERG, by the Brextremists, and of course they will cry foul and say that, you know, Liz Truss is betraying Brexit. So there is no way she is going to negotiate. There is no way she does any of this. It's unfortunately the extremist path, and that's where we will see huge problems in all this. And you're all right, yeah, the Conservatives don't want to talk about this. Yeah, they're not interested in negotiations because, as we said just there, they're not interested in this, you know, talking malarkey, which is very disappointing because it's the only way to solve this problem. But you're seeing so many polls, so many you know, people in Northern Ireland, businesses saying, yeah, we actually quite like this protocol malarkey. Can you not, you know, threaten it, please? You know, we're in quite a good position here. Can you, you know, please not do this? So there will certainly be an uproar in Northern Ireland if they go through with that, which will certainly bring its own troubles and danger with it. And unfortunately, in this case, I really think it's going to be the, you know, the most extreme path Liz Truss walks down, and that will bring a whole swathe of challenges against it. You know, it really will. And I think you'll get to a point where it becomes so untenable, so obvious that this damage is being done, that I think there'll become a breaking point, to be honest. I think even, you know, the more moderates in the party, not the parliamentary party, of course, but the non-parliamentary party, may even stand up and say, What are you doing? And I think the more damage Liz Truss does, I think the more damage it does to the far right of the party. And I think that will be certainly the key to maybe bringing back maybe some common sense to the Tory party. You know? But I also this week want to cover 2 videos as well, so I'll let you know what I'm going to cover this week. There was an interview, I think the Telegraph did, with Nigel Farage about how disappointed he is with the Conservative Party. Considering that Nigel Farage is, you know, somewhat responsible for what happened to the Conservative Party, don't think he has any right to complain that he's disappointed in them. Oh. Oh. There you go, I've got some swans. Stuck in there underwater. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, it's absolutely tipping it down. So, look forward to that, because it's going to be quite fun. Look forward to that, as that will be very, very fun. In fact, I might save it for Wednesday, I don't know. I can't make my mind up whether I'll just do it as a video and then maybe do it as like a long video for you all to watch. Maybe on the evening, I'll do it as like a YouTube premiere, but to be honest, there's so much stuff going on this week, we might not have time for it. Because certainly Wednesday's live stream will be covering probably who's in Liz Truss's cabinet and probably the damage that they're going to do in her cabinet. So that will certainly be one thing. The other thing that I've noticed as well is there's a lot of people warning Liz Truss, don't put Johnson loyalists in your cabinet, because all their plans and plots will be to essentially bring you down and put Johnson back in. So we'll have to see who gets put in her cabinet, but like I say, that'll be a Wednesday look. But I've already said I think Mogg will get a promotion. I think he'll probably become levelling up minister, or maybe even the business or business minister. Which could be quite fun. Well, I say fun in the way that it's going to be fun to sort of watch him flail, because it's the first time he might be given some serious power and then not really do anything to that effect. So we're all right under here at the moment. Like I say, we are, I don't know if you can see, we're quite undercover. So maybe we'll stay here for a bit. See if the rain holds off a bit. But yeah, I think Jacob Rees-Mogg is going to get a promotion. unfortunately. I think Nadine Dorries is out. I very much doubt she'll stay in her position. And to be honest, given the fact that she's going to be dragged before the select committee, that's a big. She will want to get out. What's this, David? Bowler Hatman, do you think there will be a civil war between Brexiteer and Remainer? Do you mean Brexiteers in the Tory party, or? Yeah, whatever it's done, it's a race to the bottom. Yeah, you are right, Steve. You are absolutely right there, Steve. In society, no. No. There isn't going to be a civil war in society at all. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. It's letting off now. But yeah, I think Patel is going to get the boot as well, because Patel is seen very, very much as a failure in the Conservative Party in her position as Home Secretary. So I do not see her staying either. I think I see a lot more new people coming in than, shall we say, staying on and keeping their job. But like I say, we don't know who she's going to appoint. That could be very interesting when that happens, to say. But we'll be covering that on Wednesday. There's, of course, other rumours that Frost may be brought back in some capacity, but we'll see. Tilly the Coder. There may be civil unrest, though, in terms of mass demonstrations, general strikes. And I do see demonstrations escalating the more people struggle. Oh, yeah, there will be. I don't want there to be, those demonstrations turn into riots. But I think we will see mass demonstrations certainly in the next couple of months. I mean, I think we've already sort of, the barristers' strike starts tomorrow as well. The criminal barristers' strike, sorry. So they go on strike indefinitely from tomorrow. So that's something Liz Truss has to deal with. And I don't see us solving that problem either. There's a rejoin demo on the 10th of September. Yes, there is. Yeah, when even lawyers are striking, something's very wrong. Yeah. Yeah, timing of that strike's very nice. Yeah, I think it was very much intentional to sort of rain on any parade that she might have. But even then, we've said this before. The Tories love to talk about how they're the party of, law and order, and yet they love to talk about, the police and all the, the wonderful things that, the police do, and how they're, now funding the police, but they don't talk about the mass problems we have in prisons. They don't talk about, the problems that our court system is having. Come on, guys, you're meant to be the party of law and order. Why aren't you talking about those? Oh, that's right, because they're in an absolute shambles. Ben, good morning to you. I do agree. I think the public have had enough. And, you know, as much as I do not want there to be some sort of civil unrest, I think you will see mass demonstrations, certainly, in those, you know, in a lot of these areas. I know that enough is organising quite on a large scale. Of course, that's by sort of, you know, trade unionists that sort of organising on that. So it'll be interesting to see where sort of these goes. Yeah, Jake, luckily your nutters aren't armed with ARs and AKs. Yeah. Oh, Christ, that was something as well. I'll tell you what, I saw Biden's speech he did yesterday in Philadelphia. And I have to say, that was a good speech. That was a very, very good speech he did. Calling out the, you know, the MAGA Republicans as he did. Not calling out Donald Trump by name, but basically calling out everything that he's been doing. And of course, a number of Republicans has been, well, in Biden's own words, trying to incite violence. And they have been, because Trump is in a lot of trouble over those Mar-a-Lago things, over those Mar-a-Lago documents. I do not see how he gets out of it. I do not see how he gets out of it at all. Because you're glad he made that speech as well. Yeah, it was a good speech. You know, that's, you know, I think we've talked about this before about how sometimes when you're a politician, it's not just you know, part of your job to push forward policies. You've got to be an advocate for your position as well. I think a lot of people, and certainly a lot of politicians, even in this country, do forget that. And I think the more I think that was an absolute, you know, classic example of someone advocating for their position and what they believe in. And it was a really good speech. And of course, I've said this right from the very beginning when, you know, Biden got in and there was all the January the 6th stuff. I've said before, I think someone's going to be dumb enough to try something on him. And of course, it's whether or not they succeed or not. And of course, you've got Donald Trump responding to Biden's speech by saying that he's the real enemy of the people and that, you know, he's been led by people in the background who are the ones making the decisions. So again, alleging to good old conspiracy theories. You know, so that's very dangerous, to say the least, the fact that he's encouraged that talk. Because even we saw, if you may remember, back when Priti Patel had a go at immigration lawyers, and it's been certainly downplayed because a lot of the law officers that have been attacked have said we don't want this publicized because we think we might lead to more. Because you've got a couple of immigration lawyers officers attacked because of the comments that she made. So it can happen. When, when politicians decide to go branding people, like that. And I think, unfortunately, Biden's speech is the exact antithesis of what was, put forward by, by Trump and the MAGA Republican. Because I think part of what I would hope that speech would certainly cause in the Republican Party is maybe a realization that, actually, maybe Biden's right, and maybe that these extremists that we've allowed to take position might not be a good idea to keep putting in, which, by the way, is a realization that a lot of people in the Conservative Party over here in the UK are also having as well. So that is certainly something I think we can look forward to. There certainly being a civil war in our Tory party over here. They're probably, hopefully, being sort of the more sane Republicans, wanting to take the party back from the lunatics on the MAGA fringe. We can only hope that is the case in this case. That's a lot of cases. And don't get me wrong, because I think some people do misinterpret that, maybe I'm sort of, sympathetic to the more, moderate conservative point of view. And I'm not really. It's just that the more and more these conservatives have pushed, insane, radical points, it's not like the moderate conservatives have pushed back. They do a lot of the blame of what's happened to their party is on them as well. They are not innocent of it, and certainly do have a lot of responsibility themselves for the position their party is in. So it's one of those points where you've got to look at it and you're like, well, you are responsible, guys. It's your party. You allowed these people to take control. We weren't the ones that put, Jacob Rees-Mogg into office. We weren't the ones who put Boris Johnson, into Prime Minister. We weren't the ones who put, or who are about to put Theresa May, into power. So there's a lot to really say that, the moderates of the party haven't really been looking out for the best interests in their party. So, as always, that's the case. And, if you don't look after your party, well, then, of course, fanatics end up taking it over. But we do come to, as always, the interesting point of our walk, the wrap-up. So as we mentioned and we started, interesting week this week. Obviously Monday we get the results. Tuesday we will get the incoming speech. And Wednesday we will not only see the first PMQs, we will also get to see who's in the cabinet. And I think that will heavily define Truss's government and how she goes forward from here. But to be honest, I'm not expecting much. I am not expecting much. Because if you may remember back in the day, Boris was accused of scraping the barrel of talent of the Tory party, then, well, where's Liz Truss going to get her, cabinet from? If we've seen the bottom of the barrel, well, how much, where is Liz Truss going to get hers from? What depths is she going to plunge into to pull such, miserable dregs from the backbenchers and drag them forward into cabinet positions? But as always, like I say, oh no, you're late. Oh no, you are, Nick. But as always, like I say, thank you very much for joining me. Like I say, look out for Wednesday, because like I say, I think Wednesday is going to be quite big in terms of sort of news. Obviously, we'll be covering what happened in the first PMQs. Also, who's in the cabinet? Who's in, who's out? We don't know yet, but we will soon. We'll probably also cover on Tuesday Liz Truss's incoming speech. Certainly will be very, very interesting to watch. But yes, as Chthonic does say, please do remember to leave a comment after you leave and after the stream finishes. That will help all the algorithmical stuff as well. Please do remember to hit that like and share button on your way out as well. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page. There's more information link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. There's the Pony Club, where you get all that good stuff if you join from there. The YouTube thank you button down below as well. And as always, thank you very much for joining as always. And like you say, this time tomorrow, it won't be long. 12:30 is when the results come out, I believe. And as I said earlier on today, I do not think it's going to be close. But yes, enjoy your Sunday. Go out, have fun, enjoy yourself. Have a Sunday roast, Sunday lunch, whatever, enjoy yourself. Prepare yourself for the week, because it's going to be very, very interesting here in the UK. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, we'll see you all next time.